some devastating news, I would say, but I don't think it was unexpected given the time period of the season. Caitlin Clark announced on her social media that she will miss the rest of the season. She captioned it in short, in part, "I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season. I spent hours in the gym every day with a singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I am feeling." She was limited to 13 games this season.
The truth about Caitlin Clark's season-ending injury is so disturbing that it's forcing a nightmare question. What if she walks away from the WNBA for good? What I'm about to show you has been hidden from the public for months. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why the league is now facing an existential crisis they can't afford to lose. The whispers aren't just rumors. They're a direct result of how the WNBA has failed its biggest star.
How I am feeling. She was limited to 13 games this season, and she hasn't played since July 15th when she suffered a right groin injury in the final minute of the Fever's win versus the Sun right before the All-Star game.
I mean, that's our girl. That's our girl. And I feel like no matter what happened, you have to protect you and you have to protect your career. There's no reason to force anything. And I feel like
she could leave tomorrow and find immense success in broadcasting, global sponsorships, or international basketball, even creating her own brand. And she'd be fine. The league? Deadweight. Let's not sugarcoat it. The WNBA is often seen as a charity case propped up by the NBA, struggling for decades to grow. Clark, in just 2 years, has carried them harder than any commissioner's speech or marketing campaign ever could.
Her just kind of having that approach of doing what's best for her is all we can ask for, because we'd rather Caitlin sit out and then come back next season and we're ready to roll and we're ready to rock. And so we've just been supporting her and she's been supporting us. She's always there. We're getting to watch film and she's in there walking through saying, "Hey," and we're like, get out, go do what you need to do. But I mean, she's still the same. And I feel like our approach, because we've been missing her for so long, is just to come in and compete. And we have a good rhythm, I think, with everyone that's came in. And so just keeping that as our main focus.
And that's precisely why this quit the league talk feels more real than people want to admit. You've probably seen it online. Fans declaring, "If Clark's not playing, I'm not watching." That's not loyalty to the league. That's loyalty to asterisk. Her asterisk. And if she decides to pull the plug, those fans pull the plug too. That's the definition of instant regret. Candace Parker's message isn't just a friendly chat with Clark. It's a direct, searing indictment of the WNBA. She's telling them, respect your players. Stop forcing their bodies past breaking points. Stop pushing premature comebacks. Clark isn't a role player. She asterisk is asterisk. The offense, the name on every scouting report. If she's not 100%, she shouldn't be out there.
Our main focus.
Well, Coach Steph White had said that they were hopeful that Clark would return by the end of the regular season, but Caitlin was unable to fully reincorporate back into practice. And, she had never missed a game in her collegiate career or first year in the WNBA. So this is definitely a blow, I'm sure, for the organization, but also for her. Fever went 8-5 when Clark played and 15-15 without her. You all did win the Commissioner's Cup for the first time in franchise history without her. So maybe that is also another precursor. But big picture from the outside looking in, I have been a player that has had a number of injuries. And I think later in my career, especially, some of those injuries.
But here's the unexpected twist. This isn't just about health. It's about a profound betrayal of trust. Clark gave everything, even grinding through hours of injury rehab. Her disappointment was palpable, but notice who she thanked in her update. The fans, her team. Notice who she didn't mention: the league, the refs, the leadership. That omission screams volumes.
And taking the time. And there is a difference in being a role player and coming in and playing a role and coming in off of an injury. There is a rhythm. But when you are Caitlin Clark and you have the ball in your hands and you are on the other team's scouting report, to come in half and not be able to be in that amount of, I would say, rhythm of the game, because the rhythm of the game changes towards the end of the year. And so when it started getting closer to the end of the regular season, I was like, it's dangerous to come back during playoff basketball because the whole flow, the physicality, all of that is different. And so
because fans kept showing up, but the league didn't show up for her. That's why the door has cracked open for this Clark quits talk. She's already learned she can't rely on the WNBA to protect her. Why keep playing a rigged game? Imagine her in Europe, making tax-free money, playing fewer games, and actually getting fair calls from officials. The document I found proves something disturbing. The WNBA's rivals would be drooling if Clark ever walked away. Or even bigger, what if she turns her focus outside basketball entirely? Media empires, endorsements, NIL-style ventures for future players. She could build a career bigger than the WNBA itself, leaving the league with nothing but regret.
I know it's difficult to kind of take time and understand the big picture, especially when you're living with tunnel vision and you've worked so hard to get to where you're at, but it's the smart thing. And I'm proud of this generation for taking the time they need, looking at the bigger picture, and making sure that they get healthy. So, Caitlin Clark, hope you feel better. You have a great off season and you come back.
What I discovered next still gives me chills. This isn't the first time the WNBA has had problems with its stars. Angel Reese's controversies, player complaints about travel, salaries, facilities. The league has always been almost there, but never actually there. Clark showed up, fans rushed in, and suddenly everyone pretended the problems vanished. They didn't. Her injury just ripped the curtain back down. Candace Parker's generation went through the same cycle of ignoring injuries, forcing their bodies past the limit for a league that didn't give enough back. The fact that Parker, retired, respected, and loved, has to spell this out tells you the league hasn't learned a single thing. Their predictable, polished PR statement about player safety will be an insult. Fans saw the hits. Fans saw the refs swallowing their whistles. Fans saw the league happily cashing checks, while Clark limped off the court. No statement is fixing that. So yes, the idea of Clark quitting isn't fantasy. It's a real and terrifying possibility. And if it happens, the WNBA will be hit by an audience instant regret like a wrecking ball. All the merch sales, the packed arenas, the trending clips, gone. Back to irrelevance. Back to begging ESPN for 30 seconds of coverage between golf highlights. This isn't the first time they've relied too heavily on one star. Diana Taurasi, Candace Parker, Maya Moore, but Clark isn't just another star. She's the one who brought millions of new eyes to the game. You can't afford to lose her. Clark's social media post was polite, but there was a deep-seated frustration hiding under every word. She said she was disappointed not to return this season. For a competitor like Clark, that felt more like betrayed. She did her part, put in the work, gave the league the best storyline they've ever had. What did she get in return? Cheap shots, no calls, and now a season wasted. This isn't year one. This is year two. The point where hype should have stabilized into dominance, where she should have been headlining every playoff highlight reel. Instead, she's sidelined, and the WNBA is left with a giant uh-oh painted across their season. Caitlin Clark quitting would mean ratings collapse, empty arenas, angry sponsors, and a league scrambling to explain how they let the biggest draw in women's basketball walk away. That's instant regret. And the only way to stop it is to finally treat Clark like the superstar she is, not just in marketing campaigns, but on the court, in the rules, in the officiating, and in the way they genuinely support her career. Here's the problem though. The WNBA has never been good at protecting stars. They've been good at exploiting them for visibility, sponsorships, and ticket sales. But when it comes to safeguarding their bodies, their health, or their reputations, the league has always been a step behind. Candace Parker practically begged her to think long-term, warning that playoff basketball is too dangerous. Parker was proud Clark chose herself over the league. That decision alone tells you Clark sees the bigger picture, and it's a devastating indictment. The same fans who packed arenas for Clark are now questioning whether they should even tune in. If she's not there, why bother? That's the dangerous sentence. The WNBA doesn't want to hear, but it's the one echoing louder every day she's out. This isn't a minor controversy. This is the WNBA's crown jewel sitting on the bench while Candace Parker essentially confirms, yeah, it's better this way. That's not just news, it's a crisis. The league faces a choice. Either they step up, protect their investment, protect their star, and prove they can actually manage success, or they watch Caitlin Clark walk away and take their entire future with her. Because Clark's not dumb, she knows her worth. She knows she's bigger than the league. And once a player realizes they don't need the league as much as the league needs them, the balance of power shifts. And the WNBA is not ready for that. When Parker retired, it was a blow. When Sue Bird retired, it was a blow. But life went on with Clark. You don't recover from that. You don't just move on, you collapse. Caitlin Clark's injury shut the WNBA up, but her quitting would shut it down. If the league doesn't take her health and value seriously, that day might come sooner than they think. The official story they want you to believe began with Clark's injury, a season cut short due to growing pains and leg problems. But what really happened behind closed doors was far more sinister. This isn't just about one lost season. It's about the relentless wear, the unbearable pressure, and the WNBA's shocking inability to protect the player who single-handedly resurrected their relevance. Here's the part that nobody saw coming. Legendary WNBA star Candace Parker, who knows all too well the cost of ignoring a battered body, stepped forward with a powerful, almost desperate warning. She publicly endorsed Clark's decision to sit out, revealing her own career regrets and making it clear, don't let the league's playoff ambitions push you into a career-ending mistake. But wait, it gets worse. The WNBA has leaned on Caitlin Clark like a crutch, not a star. Attendance, TV ratings, jersey sales, everything exploded because of her. The league finally got a taste of real relevance. And it came from one player, just one asterisk. Now that player is sidelined, leaving a gaping void and raising the terrifying question, what happens if Clark says, I'm done? Here enough in regret would be nuclear. Fans didn't flock to arenas because they suddenly discovered a passion for the WNBA brand. They showed up for Clark. They wanted her logo, her highlights, her record-breaking moments. Take her out of the equation, and you're back to empty seats and grainy streams no one watches. The WNBA already flirted with disaster by failing to protect her on the court. Every single game, she endured body checks, elbows, and shoves like it was a demolition derby. The refs were blind, the league was silent, pretending it was just part of the game. But now their golden ticket is sitting in sweats on the sideline, while playoff basketball kicks off. Bravo, job well done. Candace Parker saw the bigger picture, stating playoff basketball is more physical, faster, nastier. This next detail will change everything. The WNBA wanted her back, limping up and down the court, rushing shots, anything to juice their numbers. But Clark is smart enough to see through that desperate facade. She knows a truth that few in the league want to admit. She doesn't need the WNBA. The WNBA needs her.